As much as I love this villager hall, it's not even done yet, and it is pretty bland. Of course, I will still use this villager hall from time to time, but I think it's time that we actually built a void trading hall. But before I build a void trading hall, there is a couple things that I want to get done. And one of those is building a automatic stone farm, since I do have my stone farm, but I have to sit there and I have to hold down my mining button, which I don't want to do that. Plus, it also wastes durability. So today we are going to build a fully automatic cobblestone farm as well. If I can find a way to make a fully automatic stone farm, I will. But if it does come down to me having to use the other stone farm to get stone, that's all right. Right, and I'm actually gonna build a stone farm over here since it's not as laggy over here, and I can always just fly over and get to it because it's really close to the house. So let's go ahead and just start clearing out our area for this. So basically we start out by just digging a 6x3 hole like so, and then we dig out 1 here, 3 here, and then 2 there. Now we get to work. Alright everyone, so I'm pretty sure now that the farm is fully done. Of course, the reason I'm making this farm is because I'm going to be starting my mega base build soon, once I figure out what I'm going to do for it, and I'm going to need a lot of stone, since I'm pretty sure I already have a general idea of what I want to do. Anyways, to make this farm work, we have to flip the lever once and hit the button, and now the farm is working. Not a very pleasant sound. It looks like we might have a slight problem with some of the items getting stuck right there. Honestly, I know just the fix for that. We're gonna replace that block with some ice. And there we go. I can now confidently say that the farm is in full effect and is fully working. All right, now another thing that I kind of want to get done before we even start working on the void trading hall is, of course, my area for the mega base. Now, my plan for the mega base is to make like a massive medieval castle area. The way I'm going to do that is by flattening out the entire area, and then if I ever need something built up, I'll just build that myself. So we're going to continue with mining all of this out. Of course, I'm going to need to bring a beacon in here eventually to clear out all these little rock piles and all that, because there's no way I'm doing that without a beacon. And plus, I just have about 800 beacons sitting around anyways. Alright everybody, and since the end of the last clip, I let this farm running for like 50 minutes. Yeah. Every single one of these chests is filled up. That's definitely a decent amount of stone. And the good news is I can just use my super smelter to smelt all the cobblestone into stone, and then change that into, you know, like stone bricks and anything else I could need. So that's good and all. So there's a few more things that I kind of want to do before we get to the actual void trading hall. So what we're going to do first is we are going to do something that I've kind of been holding off on. We're going to make an auto sheep farm. So I'm going to need a lot of wool for both my mega base and my end dimension build. All right, and the way that I'm going to build this is I'm going to build it underground, but I'm also going to build it inside of a sheep face. So we're going to need a decent amount of wool for this. All right, well, it was definitely a lot harder than it probably should have been to get all these materials, but now I can confidently say that we actually have them all this time. And there we go. That definitely looks a lot better. So now basically I'm just gonna make this like a small cube, and hopefully getting rid of all of these sheep after I make the wool farm, and then potentially killing all the chickens that I have just chilling in there, because I'm really never gonna need that many chickens again. Hopefully that'll reduce a little bit of the lag that we're having from this place. I mean, like I said, I am moving from this place anyways once I build my mega base, but that's not going to be for a little while. so I'm still gonna have to deal with this lag. There we go. That actually looks pretty decent until you look at it from back here and you're like, what is this box? We're basically just gonna mine out a massive area underneath here. Thankfully, we do have haste around this area as well, so that'll make that a whole lot better. Now, pretty much, this is the little contraption that I've come up with. It's a simple farm, actually. The observers just look at the grass block. They're gonna have a dispenser right above it with a piece of redstone right there. That's literally all it is, just like that. So whenever the sheep eat off of the grass block, it'll then trigger the redstone, which will then make the dispensers fire. And then there will be shears in the dispensers as well. All right, there we go. Now, basically, all I have to do is just throw down a rail and then go ahead and throw on the hopper minecart. All right, there we go. Now the farm is pretty much fully set up. The only other things I need to do now are actually get the sheep in here. Come on. And thank goodness. All right. All the sheep are now in. Only thing left to do is go and get the dye that we're going to need for all of them. All right, so the farm's pretty much done, but I have realized a slight flaw. The grass is never gonna grow back unless I put other grass there. So now what I'm just gonna go ahead and do is just grab a full row of grass that we can just chuck in there. All right, well, there we go. Much better. So we're gonna block that off, and then we're gonna come down here and basically just make this look nice now. All right, and there we go. So now this whole downstairs area, I should say, is actually looking pretty good. I like the look of this. All right, there we go. That looks a little bit better. There we go. So the sheep farm is now fully done, which is super, super great since I'm gonna need a lot of wool for my mega base build. But of course, you don't just get all that wool right away. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit at the wool farm probably overnight, and then we'll be back to see how much I have.
The next day.
All right, and after going AFK overnight, and then a couple of hours after that, we didn't get a whole lot. It is sort of a slow farm, but it is AFKable nonetheless. So I have been trying to find any tutorials that I possibly can to avoid trading hall. There are really none. Void trading is just a term for endlessly trading. I do know the redstone we're gonna need to actually make the void trading happen, but I'm going to have to design the actual trading hall on the other side myself. But since I'm pretty much out of ideas for that, we are going to go ahead and outline the mega base instead, since our main base is just getting way too laggy to stay around anymore. All right, so here's my plans for the mega base. Right here is going to be my whole dock area, which will then lead into the market stall. The market stalls in the villager area are going to be the savanna biome, then the plains biome, and leading around the village over here is going to be the next step to the castle, which is going to be more of a royalty section. And then next on this backside over here is going to be the actual castle itself, stretching from this little peninsula all the way over here to this side of the island. Pretty much now all we need to do is just completely level the entire island itself. I know I did say I was going to leave some areas more hilly than others. That especially will stay. I'm not minding that down, but everything else has to be taken out. All the trees and everything has to be flattened out. But before I do that, we're going to need to head back and grab our beacons. Now that my beacon's set up, it's time to go. And when I said flatten out the entire island, I don't mean make the entire island just one level. Of course, there is going to need to be a little bit of depth in the island, but I don't want like big jagged hills and all that stuff. So now pretty much all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and level out the entire island the way I want it to and clear out all the trees. And then I'll probably take a break, and then we'll get to the void trading hall, and then I'll start with the blueprints. Right, and now pretty much here's all the materials we're going to need for this. The way it's going to work is I'm going to have the villagers on a minecart in their pod, and then whenever I click a button, that minecart will take them to the actual portal frame, which will then start the void trading. Okay, so off camera, I did the whole void trading redstone that we have right behind me. So basically the way it works is all I gotta do is bring a villager to here. He'll sit here in this glass pane, which stops the water from flowing out. And all we have to do is go in the water here, glide across, click on him, go in here, and we're in his trade menu. We can cycle through his trades. Once we're done, click this barrel, and then it'll push us back in, and then we do it again. So now we have to bring this rail all the way over here to the trading hall that we're gonna build right here. All right, so this is what the trading hall is gonna look like. Not a whole lot to it at the moment, but we'll get there eventually. So the villagers are gonna stand on these blocks right behind these blocks that I placed down, which are gonna be their workstations. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get the villagers to get in minecarts to come over here, but I'm gonna go figure that out now. That way we can get that on the road.
One eternity later.
Okay, and after a very, very long time, we figured something out. So this is how it's gonna look. So the villager is gonna be standing on this slab. His workstation is going to be here. And the way that we're gonna collect him from his little pod is by putting a minecart up here. Minecart will fall down, land on there, and it will be taken along a track here. We'll drop him down onto another minecart rail on the bottom, which when we're done with him, we can send back. And then underneath, we have a rail system where as soon as they go over the activator rail, they'll be put into their spot. So now we just need a lot more of this stuff. So I'll be right back when we actually have it. All right, now right here is pretty much what it's gonna look like. If I ever want to like extend it out or maybe even bring it around, I can. But for right now, this is all I'm gonna do for it. Of course, this is all gonna be cleaned up and looking a whole lot better. So now what I gotta do is I gotta figure out how to get the villagers to get from there to this point right here. And the way that's gonna happen is, like I said, they're gonna drop down from this minecart, it'll collect them and then bring them along this trail right here. Right, and there you go. This is pretty much the entire void trading hall done. It does look pretty ugly, yeah, but I'll probably make a design to make it look cooler. Right, now that that's done, it's time to go ahead and sprucing up the design a little bit. And then of course, we're just gonna have to build a small little villager breeder off to the side down here. And then pretty much the void trading hall is done after I level up the villagers. All right, so this is the little design I went for. I kind of just threw it together. We got a bunch of the terracotta that I like. So I was like, let's just throw it together. I might go ahead and switch out the blue terracotta in here for this one and just have the arrows go around in a circle. All right, well, I can gladly say that this void trading hall is pretty much done. The only other thing I need, like I said, is actually the villagers. So the next thing we're going to do is we're gonna make a little villager breeder in here.
One eternity later.
All right, so it has been a very, very, very long time, and I had to make a few tweaks to the farm, but I can say that we did get all the villagers in. There are a few things that have to change. One of them being, well, of course, I'm gonna make this all slab so these guys can't spawn. But the way this was originally supposed to work is when the villagers went through here, they would hit this activator rail, be transported up to there. The observer would go off, make the piston activate, pulling the redstone block back up and making sure that no other villager could be transported into that block. But it didn't do that. So what we did is we just added levers behind the pistons. So if I want to take a villager from this block, I'll lower the piston, I'll take him out, bring him along, and then it'll bring him back, which is okay. Like, it's not ideal like what I wanted. As long as it works, I can deal with it. So now don't be surprised if next episode when we come back to this and maybe use it, don't be surprised to see if it's a little bit nicer than it looks like right now. But right now, I think is a good time to sort of end off the episode. But before I end off today's episode, there's one thing we have to do. We are not going to end off the video going netherite mining this time. We obviously just have to get enough to upgrade my pickaxe to netherite again. So there we are, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Sorry if it kind of seemed sort of rushed or bland. There wasn't really much to this one, but I got some big projects coming up next. So I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye-bye.